Buckle up, everybody, because we're going beyond the borderline with your hosts, Cam, Phil, and Connor.
Welcome everybody. So yeah, this is Beyond the Borderline podcast. We're just gonna basically be taking you guys through some conversations, just as a group of friends, casual. I don't know if everyone talks about this kind of stuff, but basically we're gonna be doing like deep, I don't know, kind of deep talks about some philosophical topics, some political topics, some just random topics. But today, we thought we'd kick it off with a bang by discussing basically big stuff, how humanity, basically the future of humanity. So like we're all living through COVID right now. It's been shit, and I don't know about you guys, but like I think for everyone it's been like a wake up call that like, damn, we are fragile as fuck, And so it's like, where are we heading as a species, not just as like a country, but like as a species? And like, are we going to be annihilated by something, and if so, by what? Or will we succeed and take our place in the stars? So yeah, I don't know, what do you guys think?
Well, that was a pretty big question, but there's many different ways to go about that one. I think the first one is what our future looks like, and if I'm going to be honest, like I do believe that this world will eventually end. When that will be,
Well, yeah,
thousands of years, millions of years, I don't really know. But humans on Earth will eventually be extinct, and I think that we'll end up in the stars and be multi-planetary species. Or at least I hope we will.
yeah. Well, that's the question. So like, okay, obviously the sun is going to destroy the world, eventually. Like we all know this, or not destroy the world per se, but like destroy all life on Earth
If we don't
eventually.
destroy it first, though, if we don't
Well,
destroy
yeah,
ourselves
right,
first.
that's the question. But so then it's like, okay, so we have a deadline, which is like, I don't know, 1 billion years or whatever it is, or however many billion years until the sun dies. So in that time, are we going to make it off world and like, colonize other planets and stuff, or B, just wait around until we die, or C, kill ourselves before then, or have something else kill us? Because there's like asteroids and shit, there's viruses.
I don't know.
Like
Connor,
COVID is a weak ass virus, dude.
I was
COVID
gonna
is a
say
weak ass virus. If there was like,
I'm just gonna say I'm gonna throw on my tinfoil hat right now, but I'm certain that we're not the only planet that has inhabitants on it. So who's to say that, like, oh, we're the most intelligent, whatever. I can almost promise you that there's, if the world is endless, right? If like it's so small-minded to think that we're the center of the universe. So I think that there's a possibility of other beings being of higher power than us.
yeah. Well, like, okay, I take the point that like it's kind of arrogant, but at the same time, like, we literally have no evidence of any other intelligent life anywhere,
Well,
like,
if you believe in God or a higher power or something like that, that's essentially the same thing.
no,
100% it is.
a supreme being and like intelligent life, like humans, or at least somewhat like humans, is not the same thing. But it's like, yeah,
Well,
I don't know. Like I there certainly could be, and like there's definitely planets that we could probably live on. But is there life already there? I don't know. I don't think we want there to be. I hope there's not.
Here's like I guess diverging from the main topic a little bit, but here's an example that was given to me when I was in school, and it is like in World War II, right? There is a U.S. I don't know what to call it, platoon or whatever, a group of fighters, and in order to get to a certain area, they had to build a base. So they went to what they thought was an abandoned island to build an airstrip for refueling, but it turns out there was people living there, but these people were completely isolated from society. And when these American troops came up, they started worshiping them and treating them as gods because they could fly, with airplanes, they had
Right.
bow and arrows that shot rapidly and killed instantly.
This is going into
And
this.
so
Sorry,
this
go
is
ahead.
like my
It's
theory
great. It's so
with
great.
like, like a higher being could possibly be what we picture as God, but this is completely off of
Yeah,
the
true,
fact that we're
true.
talking about today. But
So
I'm
you're
just
saying
saying
that
that
like there could be life that's like evolved to like such an extent that it like we would conceive of them as gods, basically.
yeah, that's that. Yeah, I guess that's what I'm getting at is you can't say that, an alien or like a higher being couldn't be an alien and God couldn't be an alien and
Yeah,
vice
true.
versa
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Well,
So,
that
but
okay, that
anyways,
reminds me of dude, I used to be obsessed with the show Ancient Aliens on History
Oh my
Channel.
God, I was gonna go into that a bit.
Dude, like
Um,
so we all went to, just for disclosure, we all went to Catholic school and shit, raised as Catholics. But dude, when I was in middle school and I started watching Ancient Aliens, like it shattered everything for me. And I was like, I was like, okay, this is it. Like definitely we were visited by aliens. Every single religion is based off of aliens. But then, as the years went by, now it's like, yeah, I don't know. That show is full of like kooks a little bit,
like, a
But
lot of it was like
they're trying to
science
explain
fiction
the
and all that.
unexplainable.
but the idea, like what you said about the plane or the being able to fly and like
Mhm.
the kind of
More advanced, the higher
secluded,
advanced.
yeah, like I don't know. It's possible that there might be some truth to the ancient aliens thing, and even if there's not, it's definitely possible that there's like some supreme beings out there, which actually could be our demise, right? Like there's the whole what's the video game? Is it Mass Effect or whatever, where like that alien species like roams the universe, like destroying civilizations that get too powerful,
Yeah, I think so.
something like that. But that's like one of the ways that we could go, right? Like
Yeah.
we're just like progressing, and there's these fuckers watching us, the whole time. And then we get to a certain point, like say we develop like light speed technology, and then they're
Yeah.
like, shit, these fuckers could become dangerous, and then they just blow up Earth.
What if we are those people? That's the other thing. It's like, what if we become those
Yeah.
those the like the yeah, like if you believe something like that is possible, you gotta also believe that it's possible that we might be, not saying we are, but we might be that species that just gets so advanced that we can go do that, and we'd get to decide what
Yeah.
beings. But at the same time, I think that our Earth is so young in the existence of the universe that
Well,
is probably not
yeah,
possible.
kind of.
But anyways, back to our main topic, I guess, about leaving Earth and what that might look like.
Well,
Because
okay,
I think
that's the
that's pretty
thing.
cool.
Okay, wait, hold on. So
I kind of want
part
to
of
out of it before we go, like before we divulge a bit, like back to Cameron's initial question of like, how is this going to look? Is it going to be some mass extinction? Is it going to be something that we did to ourselves? I like to take the approach of looking at history and to try to figure out the future. So, like we were talking about, like ancient aliens and all of these civilizations, but we all know of some so-called civilizations that have just absolutely vanished from existence, just with no trace.
yeah.
So why is that? Is that because it got one theory is that they became so advanced that was just endgame. It
Are you
just
saying like off world? Are you saying
yeah,
on Earth civilizations
maybe
or like
maybe just like kill switch. Maybe
yeah.
that's a bit theological, but it's just like so thought provoking because I think, well, obviously it's inevitable that the sun is gonna blow up everything in its path, like at some point in like a billion or so years. But
Or
Yeah.
like blow up our
I'm not
galaxy.
sure if civilization is going to. I think we're gonna die out before that happens.
Here's a
Okay,
question that
why?
David Bowie asked: is there life on Mars?
Well, right now at least, you can say that there's somewhat of a population collapse, and that is it's very much an
True.
existential threat. Way more so, and this can be debated, but climate change, I mean, or as the progressives call it, the climate crisis.
Yeah,
I
climate
mean,
emergency.
people in our generation are refusing to have children. What is that going
Yeah.
to do? And this is only going to exacerbate exponentially.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily a Western problem either, because like China is like an infamously rapidly aging population, and like they're screwed in a little while, dude. Like they have a lot of things going in their favor, but like they're getting old fast and
What
not.
was it? Like 20 or 30 years where there like only one child allowed?
Yeah, the one child policy. That's what you get when you
Well,
you
that
got
was only for.
commies ruling the
Was
country.
that even like? Was it carried over many decades? was it-
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
forget
don't
the
know.
exact. It was definitely from like shit. I'm trying to think. It was definitely from the at least the 70s till like the 90s.
No, it was past
Oh.
that. It was when we
Or
were.
yeah,
I think,
maybe like 2012 or something, dude.
yeah, it was. I think it was the
Like
2010s.
it was fucking a
Wow.
while.
Yeah, but I like I'm awake at night thinking about where the hell the Egyptians went. Like what?
Well, they
Well, they
Where
got
did they go,
conquered.
man?
They got conquered.
what do you mean the Egyptians? Like the one
Like where? Like why is it like if we basically we could think of the Egyptians and their technology and their technological prowess as some so-called alien technology.
What?
You know
How
what I
they were
mean?
able
Like
to build the
it's kind
pyramids
of
with the primitive tools they had?
mhm. Like
Slave
there's
labor.
some secrets that like there's a theory that the pyramids of Giza were poured, meaning that they made concrete to build those blocks. I mean, that's just a theory, obviously, but
Well,
That's been disproven though.
yeah, don't they know where they quarried them from?
Yeah, they
I
found
don't know. But
quarries,
where did they
number
get
one,
that
and then
water?
what
Well,
are you
the
talking
theory
about?
was
Water? You
that
don't need water to build a pyramid.
well, you need water to build some sort of like mortar and like blocks.
Well, those
You need some sort
stones,
of like
those
you can't
stones were
just.
carved out of the ground, and they're stones.
It's
Well,
definitely
I'm not
like a
saying that's a theory.
marvel of
I'm not
engineering,
saying
but
It's
it
yeah.
exists.
There's nobody's denying how hard it would be to build the pyramids, but like it's not like they just stuck them there. Like those things were moved. They were
Mhm.
dug out and moved. But Phil, you also have to remember, like ancient Egypt, there used to be riverbeds flowing right beside the pyramids and by
well, it
the
still
cities.
is the Nile. It's literally right
Yeah.
beside the Nile,
Mhm.
basically. But okay,
It used to
my
be much bigger though, like right like the riverbeds used to be much more luscious and bigger, I believe.
Mhm.
maybe probably.
Yeah, it's
Well,
just a
yeah,
smaller. It's just a smaller conversation that could be relevant to this whole topic about mass extinction.
Well,
well, so
I
there
guess
was not only the Egyptians, but in like have you ever heard of the Bronze Age collapse or like the late Bronze Age collapse?
I've heard about it.
are you
It's
talking about
just
when they go ahead, say.
well, it's just some crazy shit. Like no one really knows like what happened, but it was like fuck, when was it? Well, late Bronze Age, like around 1300, no, like 1200 BC or something. Um, just all these Mediterranean, like Eastern Mediterranean civilizations basically vanished. And it's like, they had been building like the Mycenaeans and stuff, the sea peoples of the Phoenicians and whatnot. And then they literally just vanished, and Greece went into like dark ages and shit. And then it wasn't until like hundreds of years later that they pulled themselves out. So it's like,
Yeah.
dude, first of all, what the hell happened to those people? And
Well, at
second of
one point,
all, like that could just easily happen. Like we could just be a footnote in history, like 1,000 years from now, or
Mhm.
like 10,000 years from now, people will be like, yeah, what happened to those fuckers in the 21st century? Like they
Who
just
knows?
innovating like cars or like electric cars, computers, all that shit. But back to the main thing is like they used to have like, sometimes you need to take 2 steps back before you can make a step forward. And I think like an example of
damn
that would
wise.
be uh
Oh man.
I think an example of that would be like the plumbing, like the ancient Romans and Grecians and stuff like that. They had plumbing, and then you look back to like Western society when it first started, people were shitting in buckets and throwing them out their window. But
Well,
you know, wait,
Rome is Western. Rome and Greece
But
is
they
the
were
beginning
a
of Western
sophisticated
society.
well, sorry,
society. For sure.
I'm talking about when they came to the like North America. When they came to North America,
Yeah, well, there's
uh,
no infrastructure, and Rome as an empire could
but even
mobilize
like
like insane amounts of people.
even in like England and stuff like that at that time, like at one point they had plumbing, like
Yeah,
Roman plumbing, but then for some reason they decided it'd be better to just shit in buckets and throw it out your window.
right. Oh, so you're saying basically that like Rome was like a golden age, and then obviously the Middle Ages sucked, which is true
Yeah,
until
yeah,
the Renaissance. So yeah,
And
that's
yeah.
what I was thinking
why
about
is that?
today. What?
Why was that?
Well, the Rome was like the center of everything for much of like civilized Western Europe, right? Like
They
in terms
controlled and
of
conquered and controlled. They were like centuries long. They had
yeah.
rulers that were
So imagine like an area uh that's centrally ruled, let's say, for hundreds of years under this strict order, and things are relatively stable, and then it just collapses. Like there's a power vacuum, right? And so like all these burgeoning nations are forming, and like yeah, I don't know, like it took a while for Europe to recover
yeah.
from that.
Rome. I think Rome was so strong though, Phil, was just because of their geo geographically where they were, like right on the ocean.
Yeah,
They had ship technology.
Mhm.
So it's easy to transport people, food, supplies, all that crap you need to conquer and to control.
well, they
And
weren't the
then
best sailors, but they became the best army, like they just rolled over people,
Mhm.
like they were better seafaring nations, but Rome, they just
I
had
guess the
this ability
Vikings were the
to
best seafarers, but
yeah, well, they just had this ability to just demolish people on the field. And I don't know, I need to learn more about Rome because it is freaking fascinating, dude.
well, what they did, it was like assimilate or annihilate. And there was like,
Yeah,
here's the thing, it's like one of the biggest things was like Germania had really good like they were tribes, right? But
mhm,
these tribes were some of the best like fighters, I guess you could say.
yeah,
But Rome just had sheer numbers, and so Rome came in with their just uh what do they call them, battalions, platoons, I forget, or legions.
yeah.
They'd come in with their legions, and either these little tribes would assimilate or annihilate. So either they
Well,
just
not
keep
in
killing more
Germania, but
people.
yeah, like that was one of the places that held out against Rome. But the
There
fact that
was a
they made
couple,
it up to like the borders of Scotland basically is insane.
but Germania like was huge, right? Like Germany, Austria, all those areas, they did conquer a lot of tribes there. They didn't get all of them,
No, but well,
but they
that's
did
where
get some.
their biggest conflict was, though. Basically, in like continental Europe, like they got France, Spain, England,
Yeah, it was
but
like, well, yeah, I guess like those tribes are some of those tribes were like Afghanistan too, right? It's like
yeah, well, they led
guerrilla
to their
warfare.
downfall. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like guerrilla warfare where you can, you lose a couple guys and you kill a couple hundred, and then you run away and hide in the woods and where they can't find you, but like these lands, so you
yeah,
know where to hide. And yeah, it's guerrilla warfare essentially.
yeah. Same reason why the U.S. lost in Vietnam.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so
Um,
like that's the thing. So speaking of the US and Rome, it's like, so obviously it's nothing new to like draw a comparison between those two states. But like if we are living through this kind of golden age right now, where the US acts as basically the Rome, as in like the world hegemon, like we
Yeah.
could be fucked, dude. We could be fucked in a big way. Not that like our entire civilization or like species will collapse, because I think we're more robust as a species, but like,
There will be a power vacuum eventually because
yeah.
one nation can't rule forever.
Yeah,
Or one
dude,
people.
imagine a virus that was like, imagine the bubonic plague was like spreading right now as fast and as easily as COVID, like, or something with a mortality rate like that, you know, like
That plague
Yeah.
we'd be fucked,
gonna
dude.
kill
But I
like
guess here's the trade-off with viruses is
12%
like
of the entire world or something.
you need
Yeah,
a
it
if,
was,
for a successful plague or a successful virus, you need uh you still need a higher rate of infection than death
Yeah.
because you got
yeah,
you have to
yeah, true, yeah,
spread it before it can kill.
yeah.
Um
Well, so 50% is pretty good.
yeah. Here's well but
Uh,
here's the thing about Phil saying like history repeating itself and stuff like that. It's like you look at Europe and they came and they discovered North America. Well, soon enough your boy who runs SpaceX is gonna colonize Mars, and then Mars gets colonized, technology keeps going, and boom, the next place we're going to is outside of our solar system.
Yeah,
Um,
well,
but to
we
your
could
point,
like,
if there is no one to repopulate Mars, then what are we doing here? You know what I mean?
yeah.
It kind of
Well,
goes
bring
back to
Johnny
the point.
Sins. Just bring Johnny Sins.
Oh my god. Yeah, he's been
Yo,
everything. He
number
could be an
one, number one.
astronaut.
You got an astronaut, you got a plumber, you got a doctor. 3-in-1 right there. Triple threat.
Perfect. He can be president of Mars too. That's the other thing. It's like, dude, there could be like battles fought over that. Like there's no laws at all, nothing governing
It's the
like
Wild West all
space
over
right now.
again.
Yeah, it's literally the final frontier. But dude, what was I gonna say? So okay, let's assume that like we don't die out because of depopulation. And let's assume in like 100 years we have technology sufficient enough to like have a few settlements on Mars and shit like that. Do like, I don't know, where do we go from there? Like, do you think, okay, there's two things. One is like, how far do we progress technologically? But then, and that could turn against us. And two, how far do we progress like as humans, like, because okay, I'll be straight, like I've been reading Dune, and there's some fucked shit where like obviously it's science fiction, but like the thing about Dune is like they've stopped using technology because AI, there was like a huge
They've
war
outlawed it,
between
eh?
them and AI. Yeah, so basically humans have developed over the course of tens of thousands of years to have like extraordinary, some humans, extraordinary like mental abilities, where there's like these people that are like human computers, or other people that are like able to have like prescience, basically like see future timelines and shit like that. Like what I'm saying is like it's possible that we don't know everything in our own minds, like think
Well,
about what we
it's
could
kind of like
unlock.
like I know what you're trying to say. It's kind of like a
Like what are DMT tricks, dude?
paradoxical paradigm. Like, do we, as we evolve technologically, do we become less human,
Yeah, well there's that too.
or
Yeah,
as we become more human, you become less technological in the Dune case?
yeah, like that's
Well,
what
at
I'm
one
saying,
point,
like
You know what I mean?
maybe we can hone ourselves, maybe we get to a point where we don't need technology, and like we actually focus on ourselves. Like I don't know, maybe the whole world should just be meditating every day and figure out some
Wow.
shit. Like
so
who
what,
knows?
instead of sending a text, we could just like telepathically be like, yo, damn, yo, Phil, what are you saying?
Like not necessarily, but I'm just saying like there's mysteries that like if we focused as a society long enough on, like there might be some shit that we don't know we're capable of. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah,
it sounds stupid, but like,
but
I don't
here's the
know,
thing: is
man.
like you can't just say, okay, everybody stop what you're doing and invest on trying to figure out if there's
Oh, I
more to
know.
it.
Well, that's why I referenced Dune. Like, there would have to be some catastrophe where like AI, we come into conflict with AI, which could happen, hypothetically.
If it's not regulated properly today, absolutely.
Yeah, that's terrifying, dude. Like, that is pretty
Yeah.
terrifying.
It's not that scary.
What do you mean?
Have you seen Terminator, bro?
Or like
Okay, yo,
AI
I
computers control
literally
everything in modern society, dude. If they wanted to fuck with us, like if they had for some reason a desire to take over or some kind of malicious intent towards us, or they could easily collapse
Yeah.
our
the
society.
it's
I
human beings
actually
that are
read.
malicious. AIs do not have consciousness.
No, but
They're
no, no,
they're
no.
exactly that. Artificial intelligence. They don't do anything except for what you tell them to do.
No, but I'm saying artificial intelligence in the sense that they do have some form of
Well, when you
consciousness
think
or
about
some
it,
parallel of consciousness.
a
No, there's no such thing.
consciousness is just a stream
But we don't know what it is. Yeah.
neurons,
You give
firing
you
back
give
and
a
forth.
control. You give a control to you make a code, and it gives control to do something. That's all that it does. If you want the code to say, okay, learn everything on the internet, it learns everything on the internet.
No, I know. I'm saying in the hypothetical scenario that AI becomes uh nearly indistinguishable from humans in terms of having something like consciousness, whatever that is,
Yeah.
then we could be fucked. Like, that's the classic AI doomsday scenario.
Yeah.
No one's
Well, it's
saying
like
that like a supercomputer is gonna.
you want to talk like I don't know if this is like folklore or not, but um, I vaguely remember of a scenario where these like computer scientists created this AI and they started talking to each other and they're like, cut the cord, cut the cord.
Well, there's
Oh,
I
Like,
think
oh,
I
yeah.
think it's
you
named like
know what I mean? Like
Allah.
they just
It might
started
be
making their own language. And we're like, yo, get this out of here. Turn
there's
the
there's
Wi-Fi
a
off.
I
Yeah.
think it's called like Allah or something like that. But it's like they created this like quote unquote supercomputer, and they put a human face, like one of those like mannequin faces or
Yeah,
whatever, like,
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
on it, and it's just a supercomputer, and all it does is consumes everything, and then it's able to regurgitate it, so you can speak English to it, you can speak whatever language, and it'll speak back to you. But that doesn't mean that it's like this some supercomputer that can do whatever. Its
No, I
job
know.
is literally just to learn and regurgitate.
Yeah, but
So
we could hypothetically get to the point where it's not just a machine, it's thinking.
that
You
only
know,
happens when
For
somebody
itself.
says that only happens when somebody codes
not necessarily.
it.
What if the machine starts coding itself?
Well, machines already code themselves, but you
Yeah,
give
so
them
what
the
if it?
job.
Well,
You give
here's
them
the
the
thing.
job.
There's a
You give them a
distinction
job and it does the
between
job. That's essentially
AI
what it is.
and
Think about
machine
this.
learning.
Like if I say, Cam, move
No,
your
what?
right arm,
What? No,
that's what it
listen. Wait,
does.
Phil's on the right thing here. Wait,
So
explain that, Phil.
basically, so AI, artificial intelligence, is kind of two. There's general artificial intelligence, and then there's an intelligence that is like focused in some narrow field. So general AI is kind of like speech, repetition, things like that, something that you can replicate. But the real danger is when they are learning and teaching themselves, because that's how they're able to perform these huge tasks. It's because one, they've done it like 300,000 times. And it seems that on the
What
linear
you
track of time, they keep getting better.
so this
Like,
is how you code, like at least to my understanding and knowledge. And I did like a little bit of coding. I'm not saying I'm a master coder or anything like that, but you can code so it does a simple task or a complex task, but beyond that task it stops, and you can say beyond that task do this or that, but then beyond that it doesn't do more. So you can code like theoretically, you can code, okay, consume everything on the planet through every single microphone, through every single video camera, through every single thing online, consume that data, and come
But
to a
the question,
conclusion. But then
it's not
you say,
about,
what's that conclusion? You don't know. So, like,
but the question is really, okay, we can't really know because we don't even know what it is we're trying to define, right? Like
That's
what
what
is
makes
what
it
is what is consciousness? Like how do we, where's the line that we can draw where we say that a machine is doing what it's programmed to do or doing what it wants to do? Like, and is consciousness and will the same, or is one slightly under the other? But like there's nothing, I don't think there's anything really stopping hyper advanced computers from possibly being able to, wake up in a sense and be like, wait a minute, like, why am I doing
Well,
this shit?
it
I
we
can do
can
this.
even
I can also do this. I can teach myself to do this.
yeah, it's like there's kind of like another question that is like on the same wavelength. Like, are animals conscious? Like, we don't even know that.
Yeah. Well, like, no.
We do. We yes and no.
Like they can feel pain and shit.
They can feel pain, but is that just the Is that just the nervous system
consciousness is like,
responding,
I would say
or is that a
consciousness is
conscious effort? You know,
knowing right from wrong and being able to make informed decisions on your own. Most animals,
Well, those are two different things completely.
they're
Right? Like,
not
most
mutually
animals just
exclusive.
rely on instinct to do what they think is right. Well, I guess not really right, but animals rely on instinct.
okay, yeah.
Where I think consciousness is more being able to think a situation through.
Right. So
And
if we
Or is
take
consciousness just knowing you're alive?
well, yeah, there's that too. But so if we take the position that we evolved though from less intelligent creatures, and as we evolved, we developed consciousness somehow, how can we not say that machines could possibly do the same thing, right? Like we didn't,
machines aren't real.
hundreds of thousands of years ago in the state, like Homo sapiens didn't exist. Whatever our ancestors were, by our definition that we just gave, would not have been conscious,
Mhm.
Why
weren't
does your
our
car?
level
Why
of
does your car
intelligence.
not run into? Why does your car not run into a wall, or why does your car not protect someone from getting in an accident?
What? No, that's completely off the point. I'm
No,
saying,
it's the same thing.
no, I'm saying, look, let's equate the world's best, like, quote unquote AI supercomputer today to like Homo erectus or something, you know? What's to say that that organism, even though it's not biotic, can't evolve into an intelligence that can, if nothing else, simulate consciousness, where it can
Yeah.
be self-determining, that's what consciousness is, self-determination, right? So that could fucking wipe us out potentially, or at the very least we'd have to enter some kind of diplomatic relationship with robots, which, like, I don't know, dude.
That's wild to think about.
Yeah, but Connor, are you alive?
Yeah, sorry. I just one of my managers just texted me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Wow, that
But
was incredibly eye-opening. I always wanted to talk about AI.
well,
It's just so interesting. There's so many facets.
yeah. Did you hear about that thought experiment? I forget what it was called. Something to do with like a basilisk or something. Fuck, let me look it up real quick. It's like something about a malicious AI.
That it knows it's conscious or something.
Roko's basilisk. It's like
it's a test, right?
No, it's like a sufficiently, okay, this is what it says on the Google result. A sufficiently powerful AI would have the incentive to torture anyone who imagined the agent but didn't work to bring it into existence. So basically, the very fact that we're thinking about it right now, but not actively trying to create it, if it ever does get created, it has the incentive to be malicious towards those who didn't actively try to bring it into existence, even though they conceived of it. So all of us right now would be potential targets of Roko's basilisk
Wow.
because we're thinking about it, but we're
But
not
we're not
trying.
acting
We're
on
not
it.
trying to create it. So if it ever got created, it would be like, yeah, fuck you, bud.
So it's like the physical manifestation of karma.
I guess
Yeah,
so.
essentially.
I guess so. Well, it's almost like if you had well, I don't know, if you found out your parents tried to abort you and then you
Yeah.
survived or something.
And then you kill them.
Well, no, that was mean.
You take revenge. That's what it would be. Though. That's what you're
Well, yeah,
saying.
you take revenge. Yeah, exactly. But that would assume that an actual intelligent AI capable of taking revenge would be created.
But that's like the major premise in most of these movies that we've seen about AI.
Yeah,
Like literally follows that plot to a T.
right.
No, what most
Because
of
you
them
tried to
are.
destroy it and then you're like, no, can do.
Dude, what if one day like
most of them
AI
are though.
take
Like,
over?
they're not like that though. Most of them are talking about like we're doing what's best for humanity and shit like that. They're like humanity is a poison to everything.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. That's like a liberal philosophy.
But that's what a lot of those like robot destroying movies
Yeah,
are
right.
based off of. Is like we're gonna destroy humankind because
Impure, or you know what I mean?
they're
But
not
dude,
worthy.
imagine in like 2000 years from now or so, like robots could be having this conversation like about like let's say AI enslaves humanity and like makes us into like these like brain damaged slaves essentially, and then they're talking amongst themselves being like, yo, you know, one day the humans like could wake up and revolt, eh? Like
Yo, any
it's
AI that
possible.
plans on doing this, just remember beyond the
Yeah.
borderline is here to help you.
You know, we're
Yeah.
talking
We're
about
here to protect.
existential. We're
But yeah,
talking about
on that,
existential threats, and our parents are watching Shark Week. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
But on that note, that's how humanity's gonna end AI. That's our consensus. Or I don't know, AI or nuclear war, or we shoot to the
Listen,
stars. But
I
anyway,
say stars. I say stars. My boy Elon Musk is gonna get us to the stars.
yep, I hope so.
I
You know,
think that guy is such a good innovator, man. I can see it happening. So I don't know if you guys want to tune in next week or next couple of days. I guess I'm not sure when we're dropping the next episode, but our next episode is dropping soon.
soon.
And I guess we'll be talking more about Elon Musk and innovation. If you haven't got enough innovation talk and AI for this week, so
Yep.
buckle up because next week's going to be exciting too. Thanks for tuning in. If you guys have anything you want to talk to us about or you want us to discuss, feel free to slide into the DMs. And beyond the borderline is our DM, is our IG and stuff like that. Cam.
Yeah. Or we'll just link it, post it in the description or something.
All right, perfect. Yeah. So look on the description, and if you guys want to interact with us, by all means, we'll answer any questions or we'll bring it up in the next episode. Have a great night, everyone.